God damn. Come on.
I don't know how many people will be here because MC is live right now and Neebs.
Oh, fuck.
But
Fucker.
who else?
Hey,
We're
it
just
don't
here to
matter.
hang out.
Okay.
Why not? Why
We're just
not?
here to hang out.
That's it. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that shit, bro, until you just told me. Them fuckers are live. Going up against the two biggest motherfuckers in the game.
Yeah. Well, we already got 6 people. What's up,
They
guys?
are those would be the biggest two guys in this genre, right or wrong, right?
I'd say so.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on how you define big. You know, like, are we going just off sub count? Are we going off of like long form content? Because if we're going off sub count, Everyday Minimalist has almost 500,000 subs.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Yeah. He's I just watched one of his videos where he was like rearranging his studio. He has like a dedicated studio. Like, it's fucking gnarly, dude.
Who's that other dude? He's like the best damn EDC or some shit like that.
Yeah.
He's got a
pretty
bunch
big
of
too.
right? Yeah.
I don't know how many subs he's got, but he's big.
Yeah, he does more than just knives. Like, he covers a pretty wide genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jacob's here, best damn EDC. Yeah, I like his videos. I usually watch his stuff. You know, I honestly don't watch that many knife YouTubers. There's like maybe 5 that I watch regularly. I don't know. Maybe it's because
crazy, bro? On that note, though, you know, I used to be fucking with them channels a lot, but it's like once I started making my videos, bro, I really, like Duty says, bro, I've got 2 or 3 people I fuck with, and that's it. I mean, it's kind of weird in a way. It's like I much rather talk my own shit than you know, and it's just crazy. It's weird, bro. You know, I don't get it, but.
Do y'all ever so, you know, we're all in these pass round groups, right, where we send knives back and forth. Have you ever sent a knife to somebody and be like, you know what, I gotta watch their review of it because I gotta know if I was crazy, you know? Like, yeah, I can't help it.
I'm waiting on you and I'm waiting on Duty because I just sent knives to both of y'all, so
I'm excited, dude.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
You both got some killer knives too.
Which knives have you got in from the past round?
What'd you say? I couldn't hear you.
Which knives have you got in from the past round, Roll?
I was talking specifically about the Apex pass round. So the knives that I've gotten in are like, shoot, I'd have to check my list, but at the moment I don't have anything. I'm waiting on people, but I've got in things like the Beyond EDC Riverwolf.
Right.
And
nice.
Man, I gotta tell you, like, I understand why people like that knife. I really do. But I'm disappointed. I was disappointed in the knife. Like, it's a good knife. Don't get me wrong. Action is solid. Handle scales feel premium. But it just feels like they followed a template. Like, oh, this is what will cause people to spend $300. Check. And when I look at knives, you know, like when I look at knives that I love, not just knives that I like, but knives that I love, there's always a piece of the designer that you can tell, you could hold it and be like, oh yeah, this is the designer. Like, and it doesn't have to be a perfect knife. For example, this guy, the Curtis Customs F3 medium slicer, dude, this is not a perfect knife. This knife is far from perfect. It's got lock rock and I still love it. Apparently Curtis Customs have always had lock rock.
Really?
But it's one dude, you know, like, it actually feels like a custom knife because it's one dude that makes it in his shop. He does everything himself. He might outsource for, like, you know, the hardware, like the screws. But when you buy a custom knife, you don't buy perfection. If you want perfection, you go production.
That's right.
You know?
That's what I've always heard. So, yeah.
Like,
hey,
this is a
guys
knife.
Hear that noise in the background? Like a weird noise.
No, is it me? Let me talk
like
for a second.
Like a white noise type of noise.
I don't hear it.
Fuck.
Hey, Sharif's here. What's up, dude?
Hey, my man.
Oh, gee. What is
What's good,
Decided
Sharif?
to keep it a surprise until 6:07 p.m. that I was going to make it.
Hell yeah, boy.
That's a good surprise, man.
Speaking
No,
of knives that have a lot of flavor, Sharif, keep teasing us with the videos, man, the pictures of the new knife.
this little thing.
Let's see
Oh
that.
my
Are you not showing it yet, or what? What's the?
No, you can see it.
Ooh.
Yeah, but he's not showing the one that he knows
Time.
that I'm drooling over.
All right. I got it next to me. I'll show it to you.
No.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
What was that first one? What was that first one?
This one?
Yeah, what is that?
This is called the Caimano. And
Okay.
this one's in natural micarta and S35VN.
I really
The
dig
one
that.
that my boy Rochambeau is talking about is this one in the purple haze fat carbon.
Ooh, man.
Sold. Just take my money already.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh,
who you using for the OEM? Are you putting that info out or?
Yeah, Kaiser.
Okay.
Wow, hell yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. Shit, no.
Dude, I got to tell you, Kaiser knocked it out of the park. Like, this thing feels like any Riot or like high-end best tech you've ever handled. Like, but it's not going to cost that kind of money. Just to let you know. But I have been working on the revisions today. So, couple of things I changed. The spacing of these two screws, I moved this screw a little further back so you could get a little bit deeper on the carry and you get a little bit more spring out of the pocket clip. And then I opened up this hole a lot more because guys with big old fat fingers like myself can make it a little easier to reverse flick it for you, you know?
Right.
So good.
So is that Kaiser branded or
No, this will be Manganus Steel branded.
Oh, really?
But Kaiser is the OEM, yeah.
And
hell yeah.
And Sharif, that's your first self-branded knife, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is.
That is super exciting, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sure, for sure.
Bro,
That's
after
fantastic.
like what? Almost 4 years of licensing my designs, I finally said, fuck it. Okay, I'll do my own.
All right.
That's cool as shit, man. That's cool as shit.
Yeah, man. And I got to give a shout out and a thank you to Israel over at Arcane Design. Me and him have always gone back and forth. I'm a big supporter and lover of his stuff, but he helped me out like big time with clearing up a lot of the questions that I had for kind of going forward. The dude is class act all the way through.
Yeah, I fuck with him on his lives and shit. He seems like a really stand-up guy, you know?
He is. I can vouch. I can absolutely vouch. He is awesome.
I'm still.
So how you guys doing?
With my momentum, dude. I'm still rocking that. I ain't even gonna. And I didn't even know you was coming, bro. And I happen to have it. That's just real shit right there, baby. Yes, sir.
No, I'm honored, man. Anybody who even remotely considers spending money, I'm like, dude, thank you for even considering my stuff. You know, like I have zero arrogance or any expectation that anybody would like my stuff. So when they do, even to this day, I'm like shocked. I'm like, really? Me?
How long you been designing?
As a industrial designer, since 2006, something like that. I used to do a lot of like consulting. Well, I still do consulting, but I used to be like trend and future forecasting for like car companies and product design companies. And then I started my first business designing drones for like high speed applications.
Okay.
And then when the industry kind of like felt like the bottom fell out of that industry around like 2018, I took like a year or so to just like recoup my expenses, rebuild back like my consulting side of my business, and then I started doing knives the same year. So yeah, man.
Were you on the West Coast when you started that shit, or you were still over there in Detroit?
West Coast. I moved out of Detroit in 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's the $1 million.
I was there
question.
for all the hot shit.
Here's the $1 million question, Sharif. Do you ever miss Detroit?
I do a lot. The
Really?
people are nicer than California people.
For sure.
The girls are cuter. Now, here's the thing. There's a difference between cute and hot, right? LA and like California girls, there's a lot of hot girls here, but they got attitude problems. You
They're all
know?
plastic too, bro. Those are all manufactured women, bro.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Give me a real
may as well 3D printed them, you know?
Right.
But man, there are a lot of cute girls back in like the Midwest, you know. They maybe have like a few extra pounds on them, but they got faces, you know.
That's right.
And I miss the food. You can walk into any like no-name diner out there and get like really, really good food, especially if you like diner stuff. If you want like a patty melt, a burger, you want breakfast food, whatever. California, you got to know where to eat. It's weird.
Right.
Yeah. That's why, dude, you know, Jason, I've been talking about like, I may need to make my way over to the South in a little bit.
Oh, shit. Yeah, bro. We get down out here, man. For sure.
Hell
for
yeah.
Sure. We get down. I'm right there by the border of South Carolina, too, bro. That's another place that's got some phenomenal food. Yeah,
hell yeah.
I'm close to Florida. I'm close to everything out here, bro.
Nice.
I got a question for you, Rochambeau. Is that how you got that name? What's that about?
So Rochambeau is it's a stupid story. So I was in college back in 2009. I was really big into smoking hookah. You know, like what hookah is, right? And I started making hookah videos, like reviewing like hookah parts and hookah tobacco, and the channel was absolute shit. It was bad. Like I was using a webcam, I wasn't entertaining, but I was getting stuff for free. So I just kept making videos because when you're in college, anything that you can get for free is
right.
And so I kept making it, but I never actually hit my goals because I never really applied myself. And after I dropped out of college and left, I felt like I had some unfinished business. I ended up deleting all of the video content because I found out later that employers do look at your social media. And yes, that includes YouTube. And so I was like, you know what? All these videos of me smoking, you know, hookah tobacco on YouTube probably isn't the best look for an employer, depending upon the employer. And so I just let the channel sit, you know. And when I went to make my knife channel, like I got to do it right. And I almost just started a brand new thing. I was like, you know what? This is unfinished business. So I started, as for the name itself, Rochambeau, as in rock, paper, scissors, that was taken. So Rochambeau is just a play on the word Rochambeau, which is rock, paper, scissors. And I just never changed it because I lacked creativity in college. I was too drunk. You know, but so I kept it. And some people are like, this name makes no sense. It's not supposed to make sense.
Yeah, fuck them. You know, fuck them.
Man.
Hey, Sharif, I am getting that your native that you just sold, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, old boy is selling it to me.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
He ended up buying, I think, a 9 or something like that. So he was like,
okay.
Yeah. So I knew, hey, good things come to good people, because I could have just swiped that shit myself, but he wanted, you know what I'm saying? So I kept it real, and it's coming back to daddy.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you, because like honestly, like I was of course happy to sell it to the guy, but even me, I was kind of like thinking in the back of my head, I was like, don't message me. Because I wanted you to get it. So, like, dude,
Yeah,
that's
it's
sick,
coming.
man.
It's coming, baby boy. It's coming.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
You guys have any knife related projects over the weekend so far?
Mm.
I know Sharif's all day knife projects. So I was showing Jason this earlier, but my project today was putting a mirror edge on my petrified fish Victor.
Nice.
How you liking that knife, bro?
Oh, listen, so far, and this is tough because there's so much competition in the budget price range right now, which I think is a great thing because everybody wins when companies compete, right?
Okay.
But so far, this is my favorite and what I'm calling the best so far $50 and under budget knife. And it kills me because people are so fickle. They're like, I hate D2, but Bowler K110 is awesome because it's not D2, it's Bowler K110. It's the same metal. It's the same metal. But they did a really good job on it. A lot of people complain about how D2 is hard to sharpen. Dude, to put a mirror edge on a knife, a lot of people will talk about it. They're like going down the rabbit hole and spending hours and hours. You want to know legitimately how long it took me to do that on this knife? Like, just take a guess.
30 minutes.
Close.
15 minutes.
It took me about an hour.
Oh shit.
And that's because I really took my time. I wanted to make sure that the edge was consistent and that I got the burr all the way along. And because it's really easy, like you don't understand how much extra pressure you're putting on a certain part of the edge until you start to feel for that burr. And then you're like, oh, burr, no burr. And so like I would go through and I was just making sure that it was consistent. And I did 320 on the grit. Then I went to 600. Then I went to 1,000, 2,000, and then I stropped it with gunny juice.
So you got those extra work sharp stones, like the expanded pack or whatever?
No. So when I bought my
3D printed thing,
I know what you're talking about, but I actually did not. I bought my Precision Adjust before the Pro Pack came out, and so what I did was, you know how it comes with the ceramic stone. You can get this adhesive, which is like really easy to put stuff on. So like I put a little bit of that adhesive on the ceramic stone. And then I got several different grit levels of just sandpaper, wet, dry sandpaper from M3. Yeah. And that allows me to just cut the strips perfectly. And so I have like stacks of strips. Here, I'll show you.
I'd love to see that video you doing that shit with that sandpaper.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And so nice. I just pop it on the ceramic stone and I can move up grit levels really easily. And then when you strop with gunny juice being a diamond solution compound, like the tiny diamonds suspended in the solution, it gives it a really, really nice finish. And it helps cut and finish the edge better than any kind of stropping compound. Like the jeweler's compound doesn't hold a candle to gunny juice. It's crazy.
Dude,
yeah, I've been able to get I wouldn't call it a true mirror, but very high polished edges on just my what is it, 600 and 320, I think, and the ceramic. If you take your time, you can do it.
Yeah. Dude, you guys should check out EDC and Lace. She has a pack of diamond like emulsion stuff that goes like pretty high grit.
She sent me one. She did my edge on my 15V Manix, and she sent me this one. I've been using it. Nice. It works really very, very good.
Yeah, dude. And her prices are really good too.
I think like 19
what does she charge for a bottle?
I think it's like $17 or something.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she killed it on my edge. I mean, she
Girl's got skills, man.
Yeah, for real. You got one by her too, right, Jason?
It's always a good thing, you know.
Yeah, you got a knife back from her too, right?
Yeah, I got the. I had sent the Benchmade. Goddamn, what was it? Benchmade.
Oh, Mini Adamas.
There you go, Benchmade Mini Adamas, and she killed it. Yeah, I'm off
Yeah,
location. If not, I'd show you fuckers, but I'm off location. I'm down in Florida.
So I just got a factor, Winterblade Co. factor for the first time. I'm getting all these comments saying that it's not a ton, a few people saying it's a gimmick, you know, and people I got it and sold it within 30 minutes. So I wanted to talk about that with you guys and see what you thought.
I'll let everyone else talk since I like to talk a lot. So
I was gonna say I'll go last.
I'll go first because I ain't never held the motherfucker, so I've never seen it, so I can't really, you know.
Well, just how about just the concept of it, you know.
Anytime that someone can bring in ingenuity into this world, man, I'm all for it, man. And you know, like going based on the videos that you see, the sounds alone draws me into it, bro. That ting and whatnot, and everyone speaks about the crisp D10 and how it feels totally different. I think that guy's a mad genius, bro. I've been watching his shit on Instagram, and he's got such an imagination, man. So you know,
listen, so here's the deal. I was there for the Winterblade Co. drop, right? Not because he did the pre-order and an initial drop at the same time. I was there, wallet ready, signed in, and it sold out. In 30 seconds, it sold out. The demand is there.
Yeah.
That experience, because what happened is that like I had it in my cart, I pressed buy and it booted me. Went to the next one, it was available, loaded everything up, buy, booted me. And a lot of people had that experience, and it made people salty as hell. And like for me, I could have gotten in on the pre-order, but I don't like pre-orders. I don't like waiting 6 or 7 months after spending my, like, it's just not me. And I know a lot of manufacturers really, like a lot of small designers really depend on those pre-orders to be able to fund, you know, their ability to even create the knife. And I get that. Yeah. But I also know there's a lot of people like me that just don't want to spend that money and then wait 6 or 7 months because there have been bad pre-order experiences. Yeah. So it made a lot of people salty.
Hurry on, Mom.
But we need designers like Brian Winters, because listen, there's only so many buck 110 lookalikes, you know, there's only so many drop point, like, oh, look at my G10 handle scales, drop point, liner lock next, you know. As someone that, like, you guys know, you all look at a lot of knives, like I get bored. We need innovation, and we need people to test the bounds of what's acceptable. And it's not going to be for everybody. But the idea of using magnets for a detent, like that's insanity, and I love it. Right. I'm also a huge fan of Elijah Isham, you know, may he rest in peace, because his designs were like fantasy fiction, sci-fi style blades, and it takes balls to do that. Because when a designer, you know, when they come out with something new, like they put their own money on the line, they put their time on the line, and they do so in a manner which, you know, we all benefit from. Because let's say that Brian Winters' design isn't the best design out there, but it gives another person an idea, like, hey, you know what, he tried this, but what if we did it this way? Like, that's how innovation works. That's how you move an industry forward. Without those conversations, without those people to take those risks, we're all still rocking, you know, like 440C and a buck 110. And, you know, I love a good buck 110 knife, but I'm also very glad that we didn't stay there.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You took the majority of the words out of my mouth. I mean, like, I've been waiting to get my hands on one. I've gotten to handle Misheard Knife reviews. He's working on his own with a magnet system as well, called the something Aptera.
What was that name again? You said the guy's name?
Misheard Knife Reviews.
Misheard Knife Reviews.
Yeah, no, great dude. And he has a button lock with the back spacers full with magnets. And it's still in the prototype stage, but it's a fascinating thing to like integrate magnets. And it's one of those things that, like, dude, if the guy can achieve like good lockup, right, and a useful tool, dude, God bless him. You know what I mean? Like innovating. Think about it. Like knives haven't gone past frame lock or liner locks in how many years?
Yeah, forever. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we have axis lock, compression lock, and whatever, like the
Scorpion.
Demco, yeah, the Demco like style stuff.
Yeah.
But that's it, right? So like
Yeah. And try to come up with a brand new locking mechanism on your own.
I have tried. It sucks.
Yeah.
There's only so many ways you can do it, you know?
Yeah.
So,
bro.
Duty.
Yeah. Oh, you got one.
You know you know my feelings on the Demco 80 20.5, right? Like we talked about it when you hopped on my stream. I'm someone that has always said that I like this knife, but I just think it costs way too damn much.
Yeah.
And this knife makes me angry because for $150 you can get a Spyderco Para 3 that is in essence a much better knife because you get better materials. You get Spyderco's manufacturing, which is second to none in my opinion as far as large scale manufacturing is concerned. And that's not a knock on the manufacturing on this guy. It's just the consistency with Spyderco is better. But I hate Grivery handle scales. And up until now, I've held back from getting the titanium scales that you can get for them because I'm like, damn, like the scales are most of the cost of the knife at that point. But this has always been a knife that I wanted to carry. So I actually went ahead, bit the bullet, and I got myself some engraved aluminum scales from DNA Lasering. Same guy that did these scales on my Para 3.
Nice. DNA laser, bro. You guys are dropping some shit I never heard about. DNA laser.
So what do you think about it? I mean,
well,
just as a knife.
As a knife, like let's say we put it in a vacuum without price involved. Let's say all knives cost the same. I think the handle scales are too thin for my liking. I tend to float towards thicker handle scales because they fit better in my hand. Yeah. It feels more tactile. Like I get more purchase. I have more control. It's more comfortable. There's more material. The locking mechanism is absolutely the saving grace of this knife. This knife is the locking mechanism. That's why you buy this knife. No matter what composition you get, you're buying it for the shark lock. The materials, I wouldn't like, even if price wasn't a factor, I still wouldn't like Rivalry. And I don't like the pocket clip. He did the pocket clip the same style that Spyderco does. Now, Spyderco pisses me off with their pocket clips because
I always replace them. Yeah.
But
right. There's my Yojimbo with the titanium pocket clip. I can't stand him either.
Sharif? What are you doing?
Oh, hell yeah. My brother.
So I sold my Yojimbo to help fund things like the scales for this. And I bought it. Wait for it. Sorry, no edit gang.
You turned on us. That's right.
I gotta. Man, I've never been.
The titanium ones actually are thicker than the Grivery. It fills out your hand better with these titanium ones.
So keep in mind, when I bought this right after they released. Like Metal Complex dropped a link. He said, "Get them while you can." This was the Microtech MSI of that time, right? So you couldn't buy extra scales for it when I bought it. You couldn't buy. There was hardly any accessories for this. You bought this and this is what you got. You couldn't get it in D2. You couldn't get it in 3V. There was no titanium version to buy. It was this. Or try to find an 80-20, which, I mean, good luck. Yeah. So when I got it, I was like, really? Because the edge bevel was inconsistent. It didn't fill out my hand and everything was shark lock. I'm like, that's great. but I like to use my knives. And Sharif knows what I'm talking about. Like, I like knives that are fidgety as a consequence of being well made, not as just like the knife is built
The
just
priority.
to be fidgety.
Yeah.
Exactly. So after a year of bitching and complaining, I'm actually getting better scales for I'm also getting a better backspacer too, because
always come around.
Rivalry. I hate rivalry.
I never understood how they could ask the price they were asking for it with OS 10.
It was the shark lock. Yeah, it was just the shark lock, like you said.
But dang, man. I mean, and the guy, but that's the thing. The guy is getting it OEM. I understand that like machining that thing takes a little bit extra cost, right? But we're talking about a damn near $200 knife with OS 10, you know?
Yeah, I think I think a big factor of people freaking out about him and trying to get him and just buying him up was actually Metal Complex singing its praises. You know, he talked the shit up out of him.
He did.
Like he was saying it's the best knife ever made, and on and on about it. And I think that's a contributing factor. Yeah,
and you know what, Kev, I realized that you asked me like, what are my thoughts on it as a knife? I think that it's a fun knife. I think that it's a knife that's easy to carry. I think that the materials could be better, but if you're going to use and abuse a knife, this one's not a bad one to do that too, because the shark lock is tried and proven to be one of the strongest locks, if not the strongest lock out there.
Yeah. And
it fits in your pocket. It's not a gigantic triad lock bearing, 80-10 or 80-15. This is a very EDC friendly knife, and it's one that can take a lot of abuse. Oz 10, I don't have an issue with Oz 10 as Oz 10. It's once we bring the price point in, the $150 price tag. Like, that's why I care about it being Oz 10. Like, I like 440C at, $50 or less. I like D2 at $50 or less.
Yeah.
But man, you put a dead president on that thing, and I want something a bit more premium, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my Benjamins don't like
S30. Yeah,
the S30V would have been perfect. I would have said nothing about the price had the blade been 14C or 154 CM, and that's honestly
14C would have been the way to go.
For sure.
Has he said who his OEM is for those?
Mm-mm. It's Taiwan, is what he says. I mean, it's made in Taiwan. How many OEMs are in Taiwan? Taiwan's not that big.
So there are, but none that we know. Like, Taiwan has a lot of knife like OEMs, but they're like no-name factories as far as like the community is concerned.
Come to find out down the road, Spyderco's like, we've been making these in our Taichung factory this whole time.
Oh, no way. Not with that build. No way. Oh my God. I would have a heart attack if that came out, man.
Guys, speaking of the Taichung factory, I was bullshitting with Jason earlier. This was my carry today. Hey, right. I got in on after I did my knife sale. I was able to get in on the Kevin Smock scale drop for these.
Okay. Nice.
And I thought it was funny because I was gonna tag Jason in a post because he's always talking about holding it down for Colorado with the Spyderco's. And I was like, me too. I'm like, nah, this one's Taiwan.
Yeah, close enough, right?
Couldn't do it. But
I'm excited. I may be getting one of those to try out because like the Smock has always been a weird one to me because of like this choil / like plunge cutout that's always bothered me. But a compression lock button lock is an interesting thing.
Who knew after the last year of button lock, the best button lock design would actually be a compression lock. Who knew?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Oh, I could have told you that. I could have that's man. People are so. See, I have a problem where I love people, but I also want to strangle them at the same time. because it's like, bro, like when everybody started spine whacking their button locks and like they started failing, I was like, I could have told you that from like forever ago, you know? Like it's like I could have saved you all of that stress, man, you know?
I mean, I just wish that we could normalize, compression lock button locks. Like, let's just make all button locks like this. We won't have any spine whack failures. We won't have cats out here whacking their knives. Trying to figure
I
out.
like how you slow rolled that knives in there.
Intentional. But
dude,
but the sad part is unlike the Axis lock, I don't see Spyderco just releasing the patent and letting the community do their thing. Like,
I had heard the opposite. I had heard that the patent ran out, bro, and people were saying that they're surprised that other knife makers aren't attempting it.
So, to my knowledge, the patent that actually ran out was actually the Spidey hole.
Okay.
But here's the thing, right? From what I've understood is that Spyderco is actually crazy litigious. And they have been in the past with regard. It's like, bro, it's a hole. Like, right. Go fuck yourself, right? Like, really, you're gonna sue me over putting a hole in a knife? But no, like they used to go after people for putting holes in, and even like if you saw like custom knife makers, they would literally like have licensing agreements with Spyderco to put the hole in their custom knives. Wow. And it's like, so you got to pay them royalties for a hole?
That's
that's crazy.
The interesting thing is that if you look at Kevin Smock's page, he always advertises that he on his knives he's licensed the Spidey hole from Spyderco.
Yep.
Like even today, so even if they released it, like homeboy over there is proud of his licensing agreement. He's like, I got this. Spyderco doesn't give this to anybody, but they gave it to me.
What up, Terry?
Terry.
Yeah.
Dude, don't get Terry in here. Me and him will chop shit up like two Detroit boys.
The patent ran out.
Just want to shout out a couple familiar faces. Shout out to Old Dominion EDC. This is actually his Curtis custom. He lent to me.
Oh, nice.
And we talk about this knife on my live stream all the time, but up until he sent it my way to check out, we only ever talked about how I wanted one, but they were, almost $700.
Yeah.
So shout out to Old Dominion EDC. Shout out to Mike Morgan and Pretty Fly for a Knife Guy. Good to see y'all in here.
Hell yeah.
Has any of you guys checked out the Sparrow Knives Strix?
Oh,
yes.
Yep.
What do y'all think of it?
Not in person yet.
I love it. I think it's great. I like that one better than that Calum one, that Ari that just came out. They're both big.
So, man, I want a Strix, but I want the custom job. The custom job has that acoustics that everyone says they don't care about, but everyone cares about.
Oh,
yeah.
The ting.
What you thinking about the Sparrow?
I don't like it.
Really?
I love the blade. I couldn't figure out what it was that I didn't really like, and I was talking to my buddy Dean, and the blade to handle ratio is like way off on this.
I was gonna say it looks off.
It's really, really off, and I think that's what I was sensing. I just couldn't put my finger on it. It's like way off. So I don't know. It's like a subliminal thing that there's something about it I don't really like. I like I love the blade. I really like the blade.
That blade is hot.
But I don't know.
You ain't getting it yet, Sharif?
So for me, I have a weird requirement that I have for all of my knives. I gotta have a stabby tip. I do a lot of like piercing, cutting into like sacks, and even with my packages, like that's why I like the Yojimbo, right? Because even that thing comes down to a really aggressive tip, So I've tried to use Worn Cliffs or sheep's foot with like the rounded over kind of stuff. I just can't and I know that about me. I end up sitting there with my fucking bags and like God damn it, like come on now.
I just had this image in my head of Greg Schaub reaching out to Sharif and be like, hey man, why didn't you buy my knife? Like if there was one reason, what would it be? Just the tip.
Just the tip. Yeah, man. Even I've only designed one knife ever that had a rounded tip like that, and it was whatchamacallit, a double detent knife that Kubi licensed. And the reason I did that was because it was meant for like international travel. So like you could take it places. It had more of a curved base to it. So it just was like a non-threatening, you can take this anywhere in the globe kind of knife, you know.
What was that called?
The name I don't remember, but I can show you pictures if you want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me load them up real quick.
I like double detent knives.
You just got to yell at Kubi and tell them to make it because they've been dragging their knuckles on it.
Oh, they never actually made it. Gotcha.
They've licensed it and they have it, but they haven't made it yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's called the multi-use, like multi-use.
Who's the birthday boy? Is it Dopey 6621?
Dopey and me tomorrow, actually.
Really? Oh,
hey,
shit.
happy birthday, Sharif.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
You gotta be turning like 25, right?
Dude, I wish. I'm still acting like I'm 25. That's for damn sure.
I got something for you guys here. Lost it at the end.
Hey, there we go.
That's good.
Happy birthday, Dopey.
Hey, happy birthday.
My boy Kev is multi-talented. See him in concert.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
All
Hey, I
right.
like that.
It's still got a piercing. It's still got a piercing tip. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
that's the
stabbing.
closest I've done to like a non-piercing sort of tip.
I
So
really
let me
like
ask
that. Dude.
you, being that they have the license, does that mean you can't release that with another OEM if you wanted to?
You know what I'm going to tell them pretty soon is that if they don't make it in the near future, I'm going to void the contract because they've had this thing now for like almost, dude, all of the knives that you guys have seen from me, I designed and licensed in 2019 and 2020.
Wow.
There is at least like 6 or 7 other knives that have been licensed that you guys haven't even seen yet that they've just been holding on to.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. You would think that they would put some type of end date in that contract, you know, telling these motherfuckers to shit or get off the pot, you know?
That's what I'm going to do from this point forward. Like Kaiser wasn't a problem. Kaiser, like they were real quick about it. Kubi drags their feet a little bit. I'll be honest, you know, and that's not something I haven't told them to their face. So like, I got no problem saying it out loud, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing, nice little double detent, you know. Just
how big is it?
Not very big. It is still like 4-finger capable with my like meat hook hands, you know. But it's like maybe a 3 1/4 inch blade if I remember. So it's meant to be a little bit smaller, a little bit more discreet, you know.
I like that a lot. I like that sharpening choil. How you do that? That looks
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing a proper choil and plunge grind is a big thing for me. Got to get
So I
some
have
life out of the knife.
Yeah.
I have a theory, and I want your guys' opinion on this. I believe that a lot of sharpening choils are screwed up because the manufacturer wants to make something that could potentially double as a finger cutout. Instead of going full sharpening choil, they're like, well, people could place their finger here, so let's round it out. And what do you think?
Now, having said that, so I just had this conversation about the Rosecrafts blades, like mini monster or whatever, pocket monster. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, right? Because, okay, so with my Veloce, I don't know if you're going to see this, but the plunge comes right down in the middle of that choil, right? And if you design it right, you can get a full fat finger like mine in there, you know, without digging into your finger, you know. And if you got thinner fingers than mine, you got plenty of room. And this thing, man, you've got what, maybe a quarter of an inch of sharpening life, you know? So I don't understand why it's hard to do. But if you look at a lot of them, they'll start it from right here, right? Like the end of the choil, which is like, why?
This is insane.
Yeah, like this.
This is absolutely insane looking.
It's dumb. Like, I hate to say it, but it's dumb. They gave you no sharpening life on the knife. They could have brought back that grind all the way to like the halfway point of the blade. You
There's
know,
like a half inch of just space right there.
Exactly.
See, what I thought you were going to say, Rolo, is I thought you were going to say that they wanted us to buy more knives. That's why they were doing bad jobs on their edge termination, was they wanted people to continue to buy knives because they had no sharpening life.
Man, let me tell you something though,
That
Jason.
Jason.
As long as there's suckers like us out there buying knives in mass, regardless of how much sharpening life we have left on, like, yeah, no, actually, this one does have a really good plunge. Never mind. Let's.
Dude, again, I did the same thing here.
Yeah,
I did the end of the grind all the way at the tail end of the plunge, or at the tail end of the choil, and the plunge comes down in the middle. It's not hard to do.
Yeah.
I'm over here checking all the plunge grinds right now. By the way, have you guys seen this guy yet?
That's the
I haven't. That looks cool.
What's that? What is that?
It's the new Midgard's Messer Hermod.
I like
Far
that.
as
That
I
thing
know,
looks like that looks like a Viking war tool.
Yeah, it does.
I'll tell you what though, and I'm really glad to see this. They started milling out the insides of those massive titanium handle scales. So now
Nice.
this one comes in at a featherweight, 8.8 ounces.
Nice. That looks like a more reasonable EDC knife, though, as far as their designs go.
Oh yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
No wrist action.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I guess you could front flip it too, but yeah.
Man. I've been trying to. I'm having a hard time, like, trying to rationalize buying more shit. Like, I feel like now I am, bro, because it's like nothing's really grabbing me, man. It's like I'm being more thoughtful on these things. I'm demanding more from these people, you know.
Jason, you need to come to like what me and a few other guys are doing, where it's like, I bought 4 knives last year. That's it. Right. And I've been selling off a lot of my stuff because what I decided is like this guy. This is the CKF Sukhoi 4. Okay. This is not a cheap knife. This is and for me, this is my most expensive knife I own. But I would much rather own this than 3, like $200 knives. Right. You know, and dude, look at this thing. It's got zircotai pivots. All this black is inlaid micro milled carbon fiber, right? You got zircotai pocket clip and M398 for the blade, 4 inches of it.
What's the name of that knife again?
This is the CKF Sukhoi 4.
Okay, CKF, yeah.
Yeah. And they're about to come out with a Bob Trezzola collaboration. And Bro, I've been selling like knives. That's why I sold the native, because I'm like, okay, that knife's gonna be about $650. You're not gonna be able to get a Bob Trezzola, like one that's true to his customs for that price. You're looking at $1,700 minimum for a Bob Trezzola
Jeez.
custom. You know, so you tell me $650, I'll sell whatever I need to sell to get that money.
That's
You
right.
know, and I know I'm gonna love that knife.
Yeah. It's
You know?
you know, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would be more like that. But you know, if you want to keep making content, you do have to kind of get new stuff in fairly
Yeah,
regularly.
you do.
So you know, I wish I could be more like that, and I am kind of starting to lean that direction. Buying less knives than I used to, for sure. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to do more mods is what I'm on now. You know, the shit that I have, I'm just hitting the mods up, bro. That's kind of my shit right now. I'm trying to just mod the shit that I have. Before I'd rather do that than go buy another knife that just is gonna end up in a case and ain't gonna do nothing with it, you know?
any of you guys
Yo,
ever
Jason.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, tell me I'm wrong, man. You get scales for a knife like this, and it feels like you didn't just buy one knife and some scales. It almost feels like you got to experience two different knives.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I agree 100% with modifying knives. It kind of hurt me to sell my customized Yojimbo, but it was time, man, because I never carried it anymore because I have so many other knives that I like to carry just as much, if not more. And so many people have told me that they liked it. So I was like, you know what? We'll go ahead and send it on to the next guy. And but this could be the new Carry King as soon as I get those scales.
I'm telling you, man, I had titanium on mine. Absolutely amazing. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Have any of you guys ever sent a knife into Way of Knife for I know Jason has for mod work?
Not me, but I know the guys because they're back from where I'm originally from, Michigan.
Okay.
You know,
I'm thinking about sending off my my Chavez scapegoat to get this done. This they do like an antique titanium finish. It looks really cool. Really
looks
cool.
legit.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they have good prices, man. $60 to get, you know, your scale, backspacer, and clip anodized. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that is. I have one of my Veloces I sent to Knife Modders right now. I'm waiting to get back. Yeah, they do good work.
I've heard with the knife modders that like good luck getting in with them. Like they're like their books are closed. Is that true or?
Yeah, it is. Luckily, I have a pre-existing relationship with them. Like I know them from like in person, you know, because they're only like 2.5 hours away from me. So I just, you know, hit them up and they were like, yeah, you know what? You're not asking for anything like too crazy. So they were cool enough to like squeeze me in, but that's not like, to my knowledge, they got enough work.
That's a husband and wife combo, right? Or boyfriend.
Yeah. But unfortunately, right now, I think Richie, the husband, he's out of commission for the time being. He had a grinder accident that took out one of his hands. Yeah, so like she's doing it all on her own right now.
That is badass when you have a chick that can get down like that, bro. That's just
you know? She is a badass. That girl's been to hell and back, and she came with fucking weapons, man.
What's her name? I've heard the Richie guy, but
Lacey, if I remember. Okay. Yeah. Real quick, let me answer Lord Needham. He asked, where are CKFs made? So CKF uses a Chinese factory that like nobody has heard of, but they made a knife called the Venom back in the day. Let me see if I can pull it up. But it's they made a knife series called the Venom series, and one of them was called the Bone Doctor, and their fit and finish is like out of this world. It's super crazy stuff. And then I think they go through QC and maybe some like final parts in Russia before they're made. I've been trying to find this factory and reach out to them because the level of work they do is crazy, but I have not been able to find, and they have no social media presence. They have no nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, they're kind of like ghosts in the industry. But check this out. I'll share the screen real quick. There it is. So if you look at this, right, that larger picture right here, this whole thing right here, that's zirconium.
Holy shit.
This is a full titanium insert into the blade. That's the backside of the knife.
Damn, dude.
Look at that.
That's cool as shit.
They even had a version with whatchamacallit, with Timascus in it.
Wow.
And dude, they did crazy shit. Like, I think you can still get these on AliExpress right now. You're gonna shit your pants when you see the price. Look at that.
That's it. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And that's legit. That's no copy. That's like,
Jeez.
that's the prices that they were going for back in the day, even.
What? How? How?
Dude, it's kind of like Max Ace, right? Like,
Yeah.
Max Ace's prices versus their, like, what they do with their knives is insane,
Do
or
they
even Tucson.
Do they make their own knives, or they have someone OEM of Max Ace?
Max Ace does everything in house, to my knowledge.
Oh wow.
My only beef with Max Ace. Okay, so there are two companies in the industry right now who do not pay royalties to their designers. That's Max Ace and Tucson. Okay. Yeah. Now here's the thing. I excuse Tucson because Tucson prices their stuff so close to cost. Like they're barely making any money on any of their knives, right? Especially for the level of quality, machining, everything they do. You get a bomb ass Tucson for like $120. I guarantee you they're making like $20 to $40 on the knife. That's it.
So why do
right?
What's the rationale behind that?
I don't know, because I don't know what else they do business wise. Right.
So I have a thought though, because if you look at Tucson's knives that are all the most popular ones, like the TS, I think it's like the TS 100, and then there's the Frag Warncliffe looking one that everyone has to have. Like, those knives start out on the cheap of the cheap. We're talking like $100, $120, kind of like this Kingfisher, right? And then Tucson lets the market decide the price, because they actually do most of their sales on eBay first. Exactly. And then they'll go to Amazon and they'll update the price to be the average for what it's been going for on eBay. And so they're letting the market decide the value of the knife. And at the end of the day, making $20 to $40 on a knife in the interim, like right up front, gives them the ability and the power to take a knife to market and see how successful it is, because they already have the files. They can, manufacture however many more they want. But when people drive up the price, because on eBay it's all bidding, so they'll start it at their base price of, they're making $20, $40, and then people continually drive up the price, and that all of a sudden becomes the market average. And they let the market decide what it's worth. It's kind of genius. It's also kind of risky, I think, because you end up with knives like this.
Risky.
Like, look at how good that inlay is. That carbon fiber inlay is flawless. There's no extra
and the
gaps.
Micro milling, everything.
Micro milling, titanium M390, carbon fiber inlay. great acoustics. I don't.
Yeah.
Like it's got some belt action or something. $120 when I bought it from White Mountain Knives. What is it? 2-3 weeks ago. Immediately after, they sold out, and now you can only find them on Amazon for like $150.
Yeah.
Price jump immediately.
Supply and demand.
Now, conversely, MaxAce doesn't want to pay. They approached me. They wanted to license some of my designs. And I was like, bro, I know what I can get in terms of licensing. If you're not willing to pay me like $2,000 plus, we're not even starting this conversation. They're like, oh, we were thinking closer to like 400 to 600. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You know? No, like really. And the problem with that is like, I don't blame Tucson because they don't make large profits, right? But if you're MaxAce and you're selling a knife for $300+, I know what your margins are. You know what I mean? And even if you don't do volume, like, bro, like, come on, like you gotta pay. Like, you're basically stealing the designs from these guys for that kind of money. And unfortunately, there are designers out there that are hungry, like genuine. Like, I have buddies who, you know, are designers in like Vietnam and Ukraine and stuff like that, and they need to eat. That's $650. That's a lot of money for them right now.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's like predatory in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So like it's funny though, because if you look at all MaxAce's stuff now, it's all in-house design. They haven't licensed any of their designs from anybody. So they're like, all right, screw it. We'll just do it ourselves. Which I'm cool with. Like, I'll pay for that. But don't tell me you license this design and I'm going to pay over $300 for it. And you're paying that dude pennies. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Excuse me. Where did duty go?
Tell me that Bone Doctor wasn't sexy though.
Oh,
that
man.
thing is.
That bitch is bad. Did MC have that on his channel one time? I feel like I've seen that before somewhere.
I know Love Them Knives had it.
That's probably who it was. I fuck with
it. And yeah, I'm not sure who else had it, but yeah, dude, there was even one that came up on Arizona Custom Knives, sold for $245. Like, when I said that's the real price, that's the real price. Like,
what's the
absolutely crazy.
What the steel was on that Venom one?
M390, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a big old chunk of M390, no less.
And that's the CKF brand we were talking about, right?
So the factory that does CKF supposedly is the one. This is their OEM stuff that they did. But yeah, they got some crazy stuff that they've done throughout like their history, and like, in my opinion, the Bone Doctor is one of the sexier ones.
And you can still find that new?
You can if you want to get it from AliExpress and then wait like a year for it to ship.
Oh wow, fuck that. I'm like Rolo, bro. I don't play that. The longest pre-order I had, and I was on suicide watch, was with that with the stout, bro. Honest truth.
Yeah.
That was like my first pre-order, bro, and I was watching that one. Yeah, that would probably be the longest one I've ever been a part of. And I didn't like it, not one bit.
Yeah.
The Pulsar one was nice, and it was only like 3 months, so that was fine with me. 3 months, I can do that.
I'm trying to do 3 months for my pre-order, because like what a lot of people don't understand with like the back side of like the knife stuff is like minimum to get into to do a manufacturing run. These factories are looking for like minimum $50,000 before they're going to talk to you.
Wow.
Right. And that's why people pre-order, because like how many people have got 50K for, like disposable income, right? Yeah. Or like how many people are going to go to a bank and say, hey, guess what? I'm going to do this knife for this really niche community. Give me a loan for $50K. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bank's going to look at you and be like, door, go. You know? So like that's why pre-orders exist, because like, yeah, $50,000 is no joke. Like that's real life money, man. Like,
hell yeah.
That shit, if you fuck that up, that you go to jail, you know, real quick kind of money,
Yes,
you
sir.
know. So
dirt nap, one of the two, for sure.
exactly, right. So that's the only problem, you know, with like, or why pre-orders kind of exist. But it's just when douchebags like he who shall not be named screw it up, you know, and then basically take people's money and dick around for, you know,
2 years.
15 months, you
Yes,
know, like it screws it up for the rest of us who are actually trying to be like legit and straight up about it. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Like, I like what Israel has been doing. Every time he does like a knife, he'll, in the beginning he was doing pre-orders every time. He would take the profits. He wouldn't just pocket it. He rolled it right back into the business. He built up his nut so that he doesn't have to do pre-orders anymore. You know, like that's how to run your business. Somebody who's been in this industry for as long as that douchebag has been, he should not be doing pre-orders anymore.
Right.
Let's be real, you know. So,
well, I think that the reason, because I think that there's people that do pre-orders that don't have to, but they do it because they want to build hype. Like, one of the things that keeps me away from pre-orders is it's like, look, if I'm going to be waiting anyways, I'd almost rather have the excitement of a drop, because there's almost always more knives than what was just pre-ordered, almost always. And if I'm going to be spending that time anyways, personally, there's less risk as a consumer, because if you're someone that gave, you know who we're talking about. If you gave him your, $300, $600, $900, however much it was, and then you waited 2 years, like you start, I can only imagine that you start to get these thoughts in your head, like, was I robbed? Like, where's my money?
absolutely.
Because these pre-orders always come with that caveat of no refunds.
Yeah.
That means that if he goes belly up, business goes belly up, he claims bankruptcy. Oh, sob story this, sob story that. Where's my money?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then, the shit thing of it is you gotta have a new no refund policy, because like once the order's placed, you can't back out of it. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, that's why it's like douchebags like him that ruin it for the rest of us.
I'll tell you what, Sharif, your knife might be my first pre-order.
Oh shit, man! That made my heart flutter. Thank you.
My first pre-order, because normally I'm a bit of an asshole about that. I'm like, no, it's my money, and I want it now. But
dude, no, the thing is, like, if anybody who doesn't get into like the pre-order for my knife, like, I don't blame them. You know what I mean? Like, I literally can't, because like I understand the market. I understand where people are at with this shit. Like, I'm gonna, if I can get there, or most of the way there, then I'll try and make it happen myself. You know what I mean? But like,
what it's
my goal is I'm gonna try and work it out with my OEM and see if we can get it down to like 3 months. Because dude, they turn around my prototypes in under a month.
Oh,
yeah,
fast.
Like literally, like if we didn't have Chinese New Year in the middle, like after I ordered them, they would have turned around my prototypes in 3 weeks.
That is fast. I was going to say, maybe you guys remember, there was someone recently who did a pre-order, and I think this is brilliant. I think this is the way to go with pre-orders, where they allowed you to go ahead and pay like 60%.
Yeah.
and then as the knife got here or when knife was ready to be delivered, you had to come up with the other 40. Who was that?
Israel does that. Arcane does that. He
Okay,
does
so
the
that's
50-50 split.
Right.
Yeah.
CKF, they're doing their pre-order for the Evo 4, and you put down $100. You put down $100, and the rest is due when they ship.
Yeah,
That's the way it is. Yeah,
or not Chinese New Year, like the New Moon Festival. Sorry, CPM. My bad.
What'd you say? What'd you call it?
I called it Chinese New Year, but it's got a broader name than that, because it's not just the Chinese thing.
Gotcha. Politically correct. I hear you, bro.
Hey, man, you gotta be sensitive to some things and insensitive to other things.
That's right. You gotta make a shirt with that saying on it. Fuck yeah. Hey, how you liking that? How you liking that corgi, Kev?
I still can't decide. It's not immediately I'm not immediately in love with it. I do like certain things about it. I don't know. I wish it made like more of a pronounced sound, like it's almost like a deadened like mushy sound when it hits the stop pin. Is yours like that too?
I ain't get it yet.
Oh, you haven't got it.
Playing with my emotions, bro. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I decided not to jump on the Vosteed bandwagon this time because, in all honesty, I just don't like. It's not like I hate the way that it looks. It just doesn't do anything for me.
I love the way it looks. This is a absolutely and completely symmetrical knife when it's closed. Yeah. I think that's really cool. Buttons in the middle. It's just I love that.
And the price point, bro. I mean, fuck, you couldn't
$50, yeah.
$50, bro. 14C20N, 28N, fuck. I'll take a chance,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I thought about it myself. I'm not gonna lie. The minimalism speaks to me.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Because we started this stream talking about how like many of us don't want to just buy a bunch of knives that we don't care about in the end.
Right.
So like the question to you two specifically who said that you're trying to cut down and only have 3 or 4 knives, what's that going to replace in your lineup?
Bro, I was just going through withdrawals. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I hadn't bought shit. My knife dope I needed another hit. That's all it was, though.
So I'll admit that unless that thing really bowled me over, which is unlikely, that would be like a quick flip. Like I'd buy it, review it, and then sell it for like 20% off to somebody.
Yeah, I do that. I do that fairly often too. And with something like this, I don't buy. Obviously, I don't buy every new knife. I buy very little knives in the grand scheme of things, but I would always be curious about this knife if I hadn't bought it. I would always kind of wonder, like, man, I wonder if that was actually really good, So this was one that I just had to find out for myself how it was.
Yeah. Something that really grinds my gears is that this thought that's entering the community of, well, why buy that cheaper knife if you could just save up for a few months and buy something really expensive? And the reason why that ticks me off is because I have knives that cost like 10, 12 times as much as this PFP Victor that I do not carry as much because I honestly enjoy carrying this knife more. Like I can name several knives that cost more money than this that I do not enjoy carrying as much. And the thought process of, well, you have to spend money or it's not as good of a knife.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
No, that's stupid. Yeah. Now I'll be straight with you, right? Like that CKF, I do not carry that. Like, that thing is gonna get like put in a glass case mounted to my wall as some like knife art shit, right? Yeah. Right. But I think there's a sweet spot in the price point between something that's usable and then something that's too revered to like actually carry, I think at least for knife nerds, like the $200 price point is like kind of that spot,
Right, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
So good discussion point. This is the Luft Avant with titanium and zirconium backspacer and pivot collar. And this knife is $350. And when I reviewed it initially, people are like, I can't believe you would carry that. Like, what do you mean? Like, can't believe it. Like, this knife was built to be carried by someone in the community who has their own channel, which is all about carrying knives.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, it's $350, but you know, check out the milling on the handle scales. Like, that milling is there not just to look pretty, but it also reduces snail trails, so it helps keep the weight, or it helps keep the wear down on it. Yeah. It's got a utilitarian style blade. It is a liner lock, but you know, it's a liner lock that's going to work for 99% of your cutting tasks if you're not being an idiot. And it is quite honestly, like, this is so far one of my favorite EDC knives, because it's kind of like Koenig and Spyderco and Strider all got together. You know, like,
I can see that, yeah.
And some people love this knife, some people hate it. Honestly, I love it.
That was a pre-order, right?
No, I got this one off DLT.
Oh.
So this is and I think they have sold out on DLT, but now they're available on Blade HQ, $350. But it's $350, and some people said, you know what, that's too expensive. Is it though? It's got a zirconium backspacer and zirconium pivot collar, titanium, and M390.
I think it's reasonable.
The clip on here is a Lynch Northwest clip, but I've got it. Wait for it. This is the original wire clip. This is also titanium. It's a titanium freaking wire clip.
That's cool.
Granted, I hate wire clips. And
who's the OEM on that? Do we know?
I believe it's Riot.
Okay.
But it's running on bearings. So I switched out the pocket clip for Lynch Northwest clip, and then I put some skiff bearings in here. And
I love that design. But for my EDC knives, I like to have a little bit of a lower tip. Like, if it had a little bit more of a drop point, kind of a leaf-shaped Spyderco blade, I would be all over it. I'd be all over
it. Almost does. It just has more belly.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's what I don't really like, is the belly. But everything else about it, I love.
Now, for me, right, like, I'm a different type. Like, this is my Arcane Abyss, right?
Nice.
I don't know if that'll come through, but all of that is snail trails. This is like a $360 knife. I beat the shit out of it, right? I have a version 1 Necronaut that I abuse the shit out of it too. It's one of my most used knives. So, like, for me, like, the price point don't matter. If it's a good knife to use, like, I mean, like I said, that CKF is a different story.
Animal, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I specifically got this in this combo because I'm like, I'm gonna use this bitch, you know? And, like, that's the thing for me. Like, I think people need to, for lack of a better way of putting it, stop pussying out and use their knives.
Yeah.
You know?
I totally agree with having special knives that you keep nice and no scratch. Absolutely, I do that too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, I think subconsciously people, because a knife costs a lot of money, they subconsciously think that it somehow is going to break. You know, it's like a subconscious thing, because it won't. It's built really really tough. You know,
bro,
they're going to be fun.
I've got a great story about this, right? So I know this dude back in LA, right? Rich kid. He's like about to get out of college. He owns a Porsche Boxster. Okay. The dude never even drives it 5 miles over the speed limit. He's never taken it on a twisty road, never driven it like the sports car that it is, because he's worried he's going to break it. And I'm like, dude, let me drive your car. I'll show you what it can do, and it will blow your fucking mind. But he babies the thing for that same idea, right? It's this expensive, so it must be delicate. It can't like handle anything. But dude, that car is made to drive like a bat out of hell, you know?
Yeah.
And you should see this kid just like tootling around in his little box there, like a little, you know? I make fun of him for it every
It's
time
okay.
I see him.
All the chicks can see him in high definition as he rolls by slowly.
Yeah.
To get a good look. You know, to your point about knives that some people would say are too expensive to carry, not only is this, you know, a $600 knife, it's also a knife that has a mirror polished edge that this one legitimately took hours because it's so fucking thick behind the edge.
Yeah.
Hours. And Medford, you know, say what you will about Medford, but this is manufactured to some extremely good tolerances, good heat treat. It took me hours to put that edge on there. And I did that because I wanted to use it. But for everyone that says, oh, you know, the knife is ruined once it gets snail trails, check this out. It's got a factory stonewash. If you get a lot of snail trails on your titanium handles, take those suckers off, put them in a coffee can with some pebbles, give yourself a stonewash, and get on with life. Because you know what? This right here has cost more than a lot of knives that people are saying are too expensive to carry. And this is one of my favorite carry knives. All I do is once a week I'll go back to that gunny juice and I'll touch up that edge because I love the mirror polish. I'm bougie like that.
Yeah.
But seriously, like this knife is an excellent user, but a lot of people would say, "Oh, it's too expensive. I can't carry that."
I'm not a Medford guy. I just never
Me
really.
either.
I think there's only one knife that I've seen in Medford's arsenal, and that's like I think it's the 187. That's that one I can kind of see myself, but I mean I wouldn't buy the motherfucker, but
Yeah.
you know?
So
That makes sense, you know,
to what you were saying earlier, this is my version 1 Necronaut, right? I don't know if I'm even going to be able to show this, but like all through there, you can see I got snail trails.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Love
now,
it.
here's the thing. Here's my Chavez. Even with this, you know, these come with a nice stone washed handle, right? I scratched the shit out of this knife on the edge of some glass one day when I was like working with it, right? And it literally skipped. It went like, you know, there's no amount of stone washing that could cover that up, right? But you know what I did? I sent this to knife modders. I had them blast it for me. Yeah. You can't see it anymore.
There you go. Yeah.
So for all of those people who are like, oh, if it gets snail trails, it's ruined. Send it to a knife modder, right? Have them, you know, stone wash it or blast it. And you got, dude, this thing is brand freaking new.
What do they charge for something like that? To be
this one I can't remember because this one was like shit, like probably a year and a half ago, and my memory ain't that good. But like, dude, they did a great job. You can actually still see where I've got some marks on the blade there.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the Chavez go for around $345.
Yeah, for the knife, but I don't know about the service.
Oh, the service. Right. Yeah.
But dude, Chavez on skiffs, baby. Guillotine.
Oh, dude, mine doesn't even need skiffs. Look at this.
Oh yeah. No, if you wanted to chop your finger off, you put it on skiffs.
Oh yeah. I can't
guys, I'll show you a real guillotine knife. Hold on one sec.
What's your most expensive knife? My
knife case out.
Oh shit!
What was that?
What's your most expensive knife in your collection?
Ooh.
Alrighty, guys. This is literally the only Wii knife I own.
Which one is that? I like that.
This is Miguel Barbudo designed Blackow.
That is cool looking.
Now you want to see guillotine? It's a backlock here, right? It's actually a style called a window lock. So you see that little notch? That's what it locks into. Okay.
Oh, wow.
This thing runs on bearings.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this
When
is
did
an
that come
over
out?
4-inch blade. Like you literally got to open, like have it like this, remove your fingers away, and then you can close it.
Jeez.
That's like the same thing with that AD-15, bro. I mean, I was late to the game with that. I love that fucking thing, and it's a guillotine too, bro. I love it.
Dude, this is one of my favorites because look at that. For my big ass hands, it's a full 4-finger grip,
Oh yeah.
and that clip point blade shape is just sexy as can be.
Is that the only knife that they utilize that locking mechanism, or is there other knives?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. They've never done this since because this is something that his customs, like they made this as like a direct replica of his customs, just with their dark stone wash, that they do.
And if we're talking about the best clip point, it doesn't get any better than this.
That's the stubbiest damn clip point I've ever seen.
It's the Nordic Bowie, the Midgard's Messer Thunrar. That will chop your finger off.
Oh yeah.
How are you getting those med guards? Are they throwing them to you? Are you like part of the Apex with that? Are they passing those around?
So I got a connection over at Midgard's Messer USA.
Okay.
I started a conversation with them, and they lend me some knives. Some knives I buy from them, like I bought this one. This guy right here was a gift, and this one's a prototype. This is the Midgard's Messer Berserker, and so this one was a gift for me spending a lot of time reviewing their products and putting the word out about them and stuff. Because when I first started talking to Mike over at Midgard's Messer USA, they didn't even have a website yet. I was just chatting them up on Instagram, and so I said, hey, if I like the knives, I'll say good things about them. They never once asked. And you know what? This is what I love about them is that, like, I reached out to them one time and I said, hey, you know what? Like, I like this knife, but it's got some issues, because I was talking about a different knife. And he said, that's fine. I don't expect you to absolutely love everything. Throw it out there. Because he's not necessarily the maker. He's a US distributor. And
okay.
And so, like, never once have they ever like said anything or had any negative reaction, because, like, for example, I'm critical as hell about their pocket clips, because their pocket clips err on the side of aesthetics instead of ergonomics. And, like, I don't care that it's a huge knife. Like, I love big knives, obviously. What I care about is that because I carry every single knife that I own, like, I would rather have good ergos on the pocket clip, but they manufacture based on aesthetics, because so many people buy these as collector's pieces. And this one's non-serialized because it's a prototype, but this is the only one they've ever given me. Actually, that's a lie.
Now they do their own OEMing, or what are they doing?
So it depends on the knife. They make some of their knives in-house, but most, if not all, of the folding knives are OEM'd by Concept. No. So they gifted me this one, and they also gifted me this one. Check out that Timascus. I actually bought the Timascus overlays because they only made, they come out with all of these overlays for these Utgard Nanos, right? But they only made like 3 sets of the Timascus, and they were gifts to like their main guys. And Mike over at Midgard said, hey, you know what? You've been good to me. Toss me $40 and it's yours. I was like, Timascus? Hell yeah.
Dude, for $40? Dang.
$40 for the overlays? Like that's shipping from Germany. Let's go.
Yeah, you see what Daily Knife number 2 said, Kev?
What?
I saw that. I mean, if he wants to try.
Fucking Sharif.
Dude, I got a clip point to match your beast of a Midgard. All right.
Uh-oh.
Doink.
Nice.
This is a somewhat rare Pena little pocket scalpel that he did.
Nice.
This is the sliciest knife I own. This thing will go through anything like a hot knife through butter. Not gonna lie.
Wow.
But he ended up making like a more of a Warncliffe style one, and I've never seen these come up on the secondary market. If they did, I'd go for it. But dude, he even had these nice little leather sheaths that he like did with them, pocket clip and everything, you know.
I've been looking for a little small fixed blade with a pocket sheath like that. I really would like to try EDCing something like that.
What's your size limit in terms of like
for a blade length on something like that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I guess 3 would be max. 3 inches would be max.
What's your budget?
I'd like to spend like 150 max probably.
If you're willing to go up a little bit more, I can highly recommend Double X knives.
Ooh,
this is one of mine. This is one of 2 that I have from him. And you can see, like, even for my hand, this is like a 3.5 finger knife.
Yeah.
And he does amazing work. This is one of his old school sheaths that he did with pocket clip. But I'll show you his newer sheaths look like this.
Ooh, shit. That's nice.
Yeah, man. Wow. And this is a one-off that he did called the Warny Poon.
Warny Poon.
That's my jam. That's my jam right there. That is cool.
Dude, I love this. The second I saw he did this, and it just happened to be the exact same like scale style as my other one, I was like, I need that. Give it to me.
What's that called again?
This is the Warny Poon, but Double X Knives is the maker, and this one's a little bit smaller. It's like a 3 finger for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Perfect.
But, yeah, dude, I fucking love this thing.
I was gonna say that almost looks like a Devo Stout.
Dude, and by the way, these are all handmade. These are customs. These are not. Yeah, these are, and for like $200-ish, you know.
That's very tempting.
I've got something you can check out. This is the American-made Skyraider Knives Banshee. You can get these with or without the retention ring. If you want something a little bit shorter without the Tanto, you can get their Skinner series. They're out of Arizona. Guys, aerospace engineering. I like the retention ring because I'm an idiot. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I like being able to do stupid stuff like that.
Shit. I got you.
Like I like to have fun with my knives, okay? But something that I love is that these scales, because these don't necessarily come with these scales. He sells the scales separately, and you can get them in a ton of different designs. Like this one was a limited run with the Norse runes and the Thor's hammer.
Nice.
But you can get it in like Beskar, you can get it in frag pattern or golf ball frag, and really nice guy out of Arizona. Skyraider Knives Banshee on Instagram. Yes. You should definitely check him out. The only thing I don't like is that the blade steel is it's A2 tool steel, which for fixed blade people that like fixed blades will tell you the A2 is completely reasonable. But I would have rather have seen like S35 VN, because once you add on things like the scales, you start getting into the couple $100 price point. But it is an American-made fixed blade, and it is in that 3¼ inch blade range.
Yeah, if he's got another blade shape, I'd be into that.
You're gonna start going fixie on me, Kev?
I want to try it. Yeah.
I like the pocket. I like the pocket sheet. That's the only way I would want to carry a fixed one is with the pocket sheet.
Same here. Yeah.
If you're willing to flex on the pocket sheath just a little bit and do like an Ulta clip or something like that.
Uh-huh.
American made also, White River Knives Caper.
Okay.
Yeah. These guys are based out of Michigan. This is S35 VN.
I was just looking at the backpacker. It looks similar to the backpacker, isn't it?
It may be. I don't know if they changed the name. Yeah, it's the same one. That one
Okay.
has a G10.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I like this a
Yeah.
lot.
Dude, I can tell you, this is like one of the most comfortable little knives to like hold, man. Like your
Yeah.
finger just dips into that index choil and it just melts in your hand, you know?
Yeah.
Like
I bet you
and
could
it's
have
a little chunker too.
I bet you could I could just have somebody make me a pocket sheath for it, you know.
Yeah. Lancelot leather, dude.
I actually just got one of his wallets, and I fucking love it, man. I've been on a wallet quest to find a wallet that I actually love, and it might be the one. It might be the one.
Dude,
It's really cool.
that's awesome. That's a hard quest to go on. There's so many
It's
like options. It's
I've been a
ridiculous.
Ridge man for years. I went Ridge and I've been there for at least 5 years.
So
I go
already know-
back and forth between my Dango and this guy, which is like basically just like a card wallet but folded leather.
nice.
I just
So I
saw
already
that
know
thing
how
for the first time.
I know how Sharif feels about this, about the maker of this knife. He's not a huge fan of giant mouse knives, but if you're looking for a smaller fixed blade that's extremely carry friendly,
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Giant Mouse Knives comes out with some really carry friendly fixed blades. When I bought this, I thought this was a lot bigger than it is. Like, this is one that I do think would benefit from a lanyard, especially for the guys out there that have the bigger hands. But it's not too terribly bad. You get a really nice placement for that jimping.
How much
I
is
love
that
how
guy?
he actually. So I don't know how much they are right now because I bought this about 1.5 years ago, and knife prices, as we know, have gone up. But let me look it up real quick. So this is the GMF3.
I was gonna say, man, the Ace Nazca is still one of my all-time actual favorite knives. This is one of the 4 that I bought in the last year. So even though I pick on Giant Mouse, this thing is so good.
That's
So
the
best
Ace
that
Nazca?
killed it. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I
I've had it for a
love
long
this
time.
knife.
That's sweet.
So Kev, they're
Yeah.
about $195 right now, and N690 and micarta.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Italians
Yeah.
love that N690, boy. I tell you, and that's a good steel.
Dude.
A lot of people shit on it, but that's a great steel, man.
I like it. Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I don't know why people shit on it, man.
I don't either, bro.
You know, the people who shit on steels in general are like the people who use their knives the least. Like,
That's
let's
right.
be honest,
That's right.
Yeah. Usually.
right?
Yeah.
Because like D2 is still a great steel if it's heat treated properly. Dude, I have what is it? An Ontario Rat that has an amazing heat treat on it. I have beaten the crap out of that knife, and it still is kicking like 4 years later. You know, like people messed up in the head sometimes.
Yeah, I don't mind D2, bro. Like it's like Rolo said earlier, it's all about the price point, man. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
keep it
exactly.
respectable. I'll fucking rock.
$45, boys.
right.
Let me tell you, $45. Bowler K110. It's not D2, I promise. It's man.
That's kind of cool.
What's that one, kid? What you just showed? What was that one?
I
Miss me
love
in the
you,
chat
CPM.
asked to check this one out. Told me to check it
Chat.
out. It's
What's the chat? What's that?
Oh, there are people here other than us.
The Boker Plus Bark Beetle, $65. What's the blade steel on this guy? $10.95. $10.95 can be great. Yeah, like you said, as long as it's heat treated right, it'd be very good.
Yeah. And you could sharpen it up on a stone.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, fellas.
No, but I'll be straight with you, man. Like if you're on the fence about the Ace Nazca, this thing is. I'm really surprised at how much I really like this knife. And like usually my complaints with Giant Mouse is that their ergos are weird, you know. They're too thick behind the edge, and you're not getting your value for money.
Right.
This got rid of all of those complaints, if I'm
Wow.
honest. Yeah, like this thing is money, And mind you, I've had a Sonoma, I had a Biblio, and I had the GMF1, their little fixed blade, and I sold all of them. I got rid of every single one of them.
I've never owned a Giant Mouse, actually.
If you want a good experience, consider one of these for sure. But you know what? If you can,
$225.
I was just about to say, if you can wait, sometimes they go on sale. I got mine for $180.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. For $180, it's a steal.
There's the titanium version as well, but I think I would honestly go with the micarta probably.
I would agree, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because they use Bestex micarta, and Bestex micarta is some of the absolute best in the industry. Like,
Nice.
it's softer, it's more warm versus other micartas out there.
Nice. I love me a good micarta.
Yeah,
What's this Bowler M390 Micro Clean? Is that just
that's the full
for it, or-
name. No,
Oh,
that's
okay.
the full name of M390. Actually,
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why the whole reformulation of M390 for the MSI and the new Stitch is kind of funny, because it's just like, bro, it's still M390.
So what do you know anything more about that? Like, what exactly did they just added something and called it? What happened?
They haven't
They
released any like composition notes on it though. Like this has 20% chromium or whatever. They haven't done that. They just said it's harder than usual.
So no, like, from what my takeaway is from everything I've read and I've seen about it, they basically just changed the formulation ever so slightly so that it would polish up brighter for the actual like primary bevels and stuff like that. That's it.
Yeah.
So like, instead of when you get like like most blades, when you get them kind of like satin ground, they'll have this like purple, green, and I don't know what, like striations in it that kind of like reflect. Theirs is more just like pure kind of like mirror polish level. That's it.
Okay.
So it's still it's still just M390.
Yeah, that's I don't know, that's kind of weird. I guess I'm fine with a shinier edge bevel, but I don't care that much.
Yeah, leave it to Marfione to like worry about something that nobody's gonna notice.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, because in their comment section, they had people like Transparent Knives asking him what's the real difference? Like, what did you do? And he asked them for the specifics, and they said it's going to have better, like they did claim better edge retention. And then they also mentioned the polish part. You can't hit me with a main part like edge retention. Edge retention is I would argue in most cases, the most important part of a knife property. Like,
I'd say so.
What use is a knife if it doesn't hold its edge? Like, that's why we go crazy over K390 and M390 and M4. Right. Of course, M4 will rust if you look at it wrong, but edge retention is like the de facto biggest component. So if you're going to say that it has better edge retention, you better back that with some facts. And I want to see a composition list. I want to see what your percentages are, so that like the people that care can actually compare that and see is it worth it, or are you selling a snake oil? Because there's nothing wrong with M390. We all love it, but don't tell me it's special if it really just, sparkles a little tiny bit more.
Which is basically what they did. Like, to be 100% honest. But here's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, I don't mind them trying to sell us a little bit of snake oil, about the composition, because as long as they nail the heat treat and it performs like M390 really should, right? You're going to get that like good edge retention, and their price is completely reasonable.
Yeah.
They're not out here saying like, "Oh, here, get our MSI for $400." You know what I mean? So
if they were, if that new M390 was a big selling point of the knife, and they were upping the price because of that, then that would not be okay.
Yeah,
but they're just saying, here's a cool knife for a great price, and guess what? You can get the edge all nice and shiny.
So you could buy 2 MSIs or one Benchmade Narrows.
Right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Have y'all know anyone who actually got a hold of that MSI? Was able to get
I was just about to say, you could get 2 MSIs, but you just can't get them because the drops are retarded.
Right. So I know that Metal Complex has one in on loan. So one of his audience members actually sent one to him because they managed to get one. So far, I've seen like 3 people online claim that they have them. I've seen like 1 person on Reddit. I saw, and then 2 knife reviewers. Everyday Blades, I believe. He's got one. I asked him on his Instagram if he got it through a drop or if someone sent it to him, and he never responded. So, I don't know.
I know Love Them Knives has one on loan.
I saw that.
For me, all I care about, I just want the stitch, bro.
Oh.
Like, can I get a black stitch?
I'm stocking these knives right now. Get the fuck out of
here. Yeah, get out of here.
The one Dang Ross is talking about is the Marfione Custom that looks like a regular one, but it's like $4,000. Like, stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Although if you go to eBay, so you know how Microtech's like, we're not selling to bots, we're not selling to scalpers, one per. Yeah, you want to know the legitimacy of that statement? Go to eBay and look up Microtech MSI or Microtech Stitch, and you'll see that these sellers, these scalpers, have more than one. So you tell me how are you keeping the bots out of your gear site when they obviously have more than one?
I don't know why they're allowing more than one per person. How are they doing? Why are they doing that? Are they allowing more than one?
2 of them right now. One for 430. One of them for 535.
On eBay?
It's not
eBay
hard to
right
check.
now.
Yeah. It kills me because they're defending that so fiercely. They're like, it's one per. We're not selling to bots. We've got the bots on lock. Oh, really? 1 per? Are you sure? How are you monitoring this? Because and the reason, and here's the thing, it's not enough to stop me from wanting to buy one if I could. But that's that's the part that's upsetting. If I could, no one can, because they're selling out in the first 60 seconds.
Yep.
That's crazy.
If that,
makes you wonder how many they're fucking releasing. I mean, that's just crazy.
Dude, they're releasing 20 of them at a time.
It's gotta be real. 10 it's gotta be.
My perspective is instead of just releasing them to generate hype, why don't you just hype it up, get it out to the retailers, and they'll sell out for sure from the retailers anyways, bro.
Probably because they make more when they do it on their own, because I bet they take a little bit of a hit when they send them out to the retailers.
Of course, because they sell them at wholesale prices. But dude, stop tickling my pickle and let me just get the knife.
They should get them out to retailers. A good large amount of them, and all the retailers release them at the same time on the same day. Right?
Thank you.
Well,
that would be awesome.
So I have a theory that the people that have sent theirs to review channels so that they can actually get content out there. I wouldn't be surprised if those are the ones that were bought off eBay at double the price.
Maybe, yeah.
I would not be at all surprised, because most of the people right now that are like, I haven't seen anyone claim, oh my gosh, I got one on the drop. Like,
Will W says he got one right here. I don't know. But yeah, very, very few. I haven't seen one besides this guy right here.
Yeah.
Nice. We have one confirmed.
Seen...
There's one confirmed.
There's one.
Dude. But you know what though? Like, I don't know if you guys know what, like, how Microtech is to deal with. They're such a pain in the ass company if you're like a knife shop. Like, I've talked to multiple knife shops and they've all told me the same story, that basically they'll give you a list of like what's available, you'll select it, and they completely ignore it, and they'll just send you whatever they feel like sending you. And it's like, really? Like, how do you run a business like this, right?
Yeah.
And like, what if I decide to just reject what you send me and send it back? They're like, well, okay, we've got somebody else who will sell it, and then they'll push it off to like a big retailer. It's like, bro, you know how long I've been trying to track down like an all black auto stitch, or like an apocalyptic like black stitch auto? It's impossible. Like, you have no idea where they're going to drop and when. And then when they do, it's like they sell out instantly. And it's like,
it'd probably be easier just to get the standard Stonewash variant and then send it to like Knife Modders to have them do like a DLC on there.
I know, but I just want it to, like, just, if I'm going to spend that much money on a knife, let me just get it. You know, like, why do I have to jump through hoops to get what I want? You know,
so this is a relatively new thing in the knife world, right? Not wanting a knife and not being able to get your hands on one. Is that true?
It depends. Like, for some of the higher end stuff, yes, you know, but like the budget stuff, I don't think is a problem. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, like, wanting a knife and not being able to get it. That seems like a kind of a newer thing, especially for like, these are production knives, you know. MSI, the 15V Manix was a.
I was about to say,
a sprint run, but still.
Yeah. Oh man, if I could get my hands on a 15V Manix, bro. And I like I said, I know shops. I've told them, if any of these come in, like, let me know. Even my local shop, I don't live in a big town. They're like, oh yeah, we got a few 15V Manixes in. They didn't even post it on their social media. It sold out in half a day.
So I have a theory. I have a theory about why we're not seeing a whole lot of these MSIs drop at the same time. Now, we're all in the same Instagram chat, right? You remember when people first started putting in there, hey, you know, check this out, the MSI is going to be huge. And then there was the follow-up of, oh, they're going to switch it to a deep carry clip. And because of that, lots of people were saying, oh, it's not gonna be out till like April, May, June. What if they are dropping them as they get them back with the clips? Because they promised that they were coming soon, but then they also promised that they were going to change up the clip. And making a manufacturing change like that is never quick. But it's usually never quick because you have to do it to so many. So if they're sending them out in batches, or if they're just getting these new clips in batches and installing them in batches, that would actually explain, at least in my opinion, as to why we're not seeing many drop at the same time. But my second theory is, what if they're just doing all the clips in house and they have a lot more, but they're intentionally creating scarcity to drive up the demand, so that when I think
that's what they're doing. Like, I think they're playing the hype game. If I'm honest, they're trying to do like a PS5 thing, right? Where it's like, where they're just like, yo, there's only these many. Come get them while you can. And so all of us are hungry. And when they finally hit the retailers, we're gonna rush the retailers and buy them all out. I think that's their whole strategy.
Yeah, you want something more when it's rare. It's just a thing.
Exactly.
And you feel better having it if not many people have it. That's just how it is.
Oh yeah, look at
they are playing that game. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's shitty. I wish they wouldn't, but yeah, you're probably right.
Well, for like it's again, like if it was something like a $600-$700 knife, like I'd be okay with that, right? Because
Yeah.
they got to make their nut, and you got to like work a little extra hard to like convince people to spend that kind of money. You know what I mean? But they're doing it on a $250 knife. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Right.
just give me the damn knife.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't need the romance. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm with you,
hopefully-
CPM. I'm going for the Russian communist knives from here on out.
Yeah, at least you can get them.
Right?
I'll tell you what, that's something that does kind of turn me off though about like wanting to get in on a pre-order for the new Evo 4 is like with all the stuff that's going down with Russia, like what's the guarantee that the knife is ever going to show up? Because not only do you have that wait time, but we have a current situation where Russia is under heavy sanctions. A lot of Russian companies can't get jack to the US.
Yeah.
So maybe they have something set up where they're able to ship it to another country and then that country ships it to us because people were getting their Evo 3s when those got shipped. But it's enough to make me kind of nervous for those who have pre-ordered, the $600, $700, $800 Evo 4. Like, will they get their knife? Because if those sanctions end up extending to the countries that they're sending those knives to then get to us, like Russia has a history of not paying for shit. Like they have a history of like commissioning vehicles and then being like, oh, nope, buy, and then not paying for them, So what's to say that they just, cut their losses and say, well, we can't send them to you maybe in the future.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's
well, the question is like, and I don't know this for sure, if they're gonna like, so NC Blade is the US like distributor for CKF, right?
Right.
I wonder if he is not getting them directly from the Chinese factory, right? Because that way it may not have to go through like Russian hands, and then that way they can guarantee the delivery. Now, speaking of political shit, right? Like if we do get into a tussle with China, that could be a whole other thing too. And I'll tell you, I ain't dropping $500 on an arrow because I can't get a Chinese knife.
No, hell no.
Hell
no.
Turns out that Benchmade just had that foresight. They're like, oh, you don't think you'll pay $500, but you will.
Wait,
right? Man.
Well, guys, CPM says, roll Shambo because Brandon at NC Blade has your money. So I think what CPM is saying is that it's guaranteed by someone here in the United States.
Yeah.
Man. They can only take so many hits. Every business has a limit.
Yeah, true that. Let's wrap this bitch up, guys. We're at 2 hours.
Sounds good.
Well, fellas, it was good hanging with you. We'll have to do this again more often.
Yeah, we do it every Saturday. So it's kind of like an open invitation thing. So you guys are always welcome.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All righty, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take that as my cue. I'll see y'all on the flip side.
Right on. Everyone subscribe to Sharif there. Jason, Puerto Rican with a knife. Roll Shambo. Everybody.
This guy. Yeah, this guy. And this guy.
Right on. Good times, guys. I'll see you soon.
All right. Peace.
Adios.